Thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. We are super stoked. You guys seem to like the last video, so we're gonna keep running videos that are kind of like that, kind of informational, kind of funny. Let's get into this video. I really enjoyed shooting this one, and I shot my first 30x on camera doing this. Today, I will be testing all 4 the release types. We have thumb button, hinge, straight tension, and the old trusty stick release. Wanted to do this partially because I wanted to try this. As you guys probably know, I don't shoot straight tension very much, and I also do not shoot stick release very much. So it's going to be a bit of an experience for me as well, because I don't shoot them. I'm not used to shooting them.
Oh, I don't know.
Now, some of the advantages of shooting a thumb button. If you're in a situation you need to get a shot off quick, you have the ability to just tap that shot off. You can move your hand around a lot. You can make it so that you rotate your hand into the barrel so that it's always a surprise release. That being said, you can also shoot something like what Kyle Douglas does. Just kind of grip and rip. Like just get on there, put your pin in the center, and get that shot gone. And then there's Hinge.
Hinge, the dating app designed to be deleted.
Hinge is a great release to work on your shot. It's a great release so that you can get back there. Yes, you can punch a hinge. That is not impossible to punch a hinge, but it's a lot harder to punch a hinge. It forces you to stay in your shot, because if you try and punch a hinge, usually the shot does not go where you want it to, or you get really, but we'll not say that. It forces you to stay in your shot, stay on that target, and just focus on executing your shot. Now, to go to next level of shot execution, we have the Nock-on silverback. This release, you push the thumb barrel in, you make it to full draw, you let it off, and all you do is pull through your shot. This one is very difficult to punch. You can do it yet again just by forcing back at a really quick interval, but this release, it forces you to stay in your shot. It's very difficult to punch it. It just teaches you how to just pull through your shot, stay steady. This is an absolutely amazing beginner's release. It will teach you how to pull through your shot, how to stay in your shot, and really teach you not to punch. Now, we have probably the most common release out on the market. We have the Wise Guy. I think it's Spott Hogg. It's a stick release. So it's just simply, you touch the trigger and it goes off. This is probably the most common release on the market today. Lots of hunters use them. I don't really care for them as much. It's a lot harder to use back tension to get this one to go off. You can do it by kind of moving your wrist up, kind of putting your finger onto the release and then just pulling through. You can do that. The nice part about this release, the Wise Guy specifically, is it is very adjustable. You can get it so that it's very touchy, which is unusual with most stick releases. The advantage of the stick release is the price point. They're very cheap, they're very easy to get into anyone's hands. It doesn't break the bank. Now, with these 3 other releases, the next cheapest release would be the Trufire Synapse, which is the one that I'm shooting for thumb button. Then, I don't actually know which one's more expensive between the silverback and the executive. I'll put a price point down below. I shot 15 arrows as a test plot per each release. Now, of course, I'm going to shoot the best with the thumb button. It's what I train with, it's what I shoot with, it's what I always have shot for. I've probably trained only with that for probably the last 2 years. The next one that I'm most familiar with is the back tension. Now, not to brag or anything, but I shot 15 X's in a row with the thumb button. Then I shot 15 X's in a row with the back tension. I shot 30 X's with 2 different releases. That's the first time I've ever videoed myself shooting a 30X. So, woohoo! Anyway, this week has been really good for shooting wise. It's felt really solid. Now the silverback, I'm not used to this release, so trying to get it to set properly was quite difficult. Trying to, it probably took me 20-25 minutes just to get the weight right in the pull through of the shot so that it wasn't just basically a reverse thumb button. But once I got it, it was pretty solid. And honestly, the Wise Guy, it felt super solid from the beginning. I just pulled back, it felt natural to shoot it. I'm not used to shooting a stick release, it felt very natural and it was very easy to shoot. Let's get into test plots. Let's go. While shooting these, I was just focused on shot execution. I was sure I was still trying to shoot really well, but I was more focused on shot execution. It seemed to turn out really, really well, considering that I hit 30 X's in a row right off the bat. 15 with the thumb button, 15 with the back tension, and then all the other releases just felt super solid as well. It was just a really good day of shooting. First 15 arrows with thumb button was 15 X's. Pretty good grouping in there. Stayed pretty consistent. Second 15 arrows, I shot with back tension. Still very consistent, stayed in it. Probably a better grouping with the back tension than I did with the thumb button. Now, here's when it starts to get scary. This was the straight tension. So this was the knock to it, or the knock on, silverback, that one. 150 with 13 X's. Still good grouping. Excellent grouping off this bottom arrow. Just one that went out. All the shots felt great. I felt like they all should have gone in the middle, but they didn't. I think that's just some consistency and inconsistency in me shooting because I'm not used to shooting that release. Now with the stick release, still pretty good groupings. Like you can see, still pretty solid groupings. I was starting to feel a little bit of target panic with it. I would pull back, there was still a little bit of movement in that trigger. I just didn't enjoy shooting it as much. There was too much play in it. It was too inconsistent. Granted, I've never been known to be a stick release shooter. I've never shot them well, I never have. Probably never will, I probably won't ever put in the effort to. But, still an excellent showing. I was shooting good today. I shot, 30 X's back to back with 2 different releases, which is, I don't know many people who have done that before. And so I ended up only dropping 4 X's, so I shot 56 X's, and I dropped 1 point. So I shot a 599 outer with 56 X's. To me, that's solid. Means that I was shooting good. And you know what, quite honestly, all of these releases shot phenomenally. Sure, I had a couple of flyers. I had one that was just about a 9 with the tension, or with the silverback. But quite honestly, I couldn't have asked for more with these releases. They all shot phenomenally. I think a lot of it's just up to whether the shooter shows up or not. Really, how good of a shooter are you? I'd say I wouldn't be as good of a shooter as I am without shooting handheld. I started off shooting back tension or hinge, and you know that really gave me my basis for how I set off a thumb button. For a beginner starting, I would get them started initially with a stick release, just to get them shooting, make sure that they know how to shoot, get some arrows downrange. Then I would move them to a tension release, just so that they're used to pulling through their shots. It forces them to pull through their shots. They get more of their form figured out. Then I would probably move them to a hinge. I've never known anyone to shoot straight tension extremely well, but that being said, some people might. So then I would move them to shooting a hinge. And from there, you can either stay with hinge or move to a thumb button. Really, it's up to you, whatever you shoot better. Thank you very much for watching. Just remember to like, subscribe, check out the hats, link down. See ya. Have a good one. Goodbye. No, I do not own all of the releases. 2 of the releases are borrowed. I'm not that rich, guys. Seriously.